I am a star that shines through space but does not know which space to fit in. I am an old soul, but in a young woman's body. I sing melodies of Nina Simone with a hint of Beyonce harmonies. I am the child of box braids and afros, sopranos and altos, soul and gospels, melanin and poetry, melodies and harmonies. I am a canvas. A canvas painted by the painter who painted all canvases. I come from Job and his loyalty, music and poetry, Ella and Louis, because Lord knows that I am an old soul in a young woman's body. My hair, so healthy, hair so curly, curls so juicy. My hair is royalty. My body, curved like an hourglass. People stare, but I don't even care, because I've learned to love myself for who I am, and I am a creative. Creatively using my creativity to create creative creations, to write fire poems. To write fire poems, I follow the flame like how Zuko followed Aang. I've been bending my poems like the Avatar, combining elements needed to write poems that not only help me, but help those from afar. I come from writing poetry and performing. Phyllis Wheatley and Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou and Amanda Gorman. I come from writing songs, my voice symbolic. Nat King Cole and Silk Sonic. I write songs while in my silk bonnet. I come from jazz and R&B, Ray Charles and Yodel G. My confidence has returned. She said, feels good to be back. I said, don't mess around, but she came back and she here to stay, and I have to say that loving myself is one of the hardest, yet one of the most beautiful things I have ever done. I am a chorus. I come from church hymns so powerful, the first few lyrics will bring you to tears. I am a child of God, created perfectly by the Creator, who's the creator of all things good. I am a star that shines through space and brightens up every single space she fits in. I am an old soul in a young woman's body. Now remember that from now up until my demise, I love who I am and who I'm becoming, and none of y'all can tell me otherwise. I write poetry about my struggles with anxiety, with depression, with my past relationship with my parents, or with my faith. And I'm a Christian. Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. I forgot to say that too. So I write poems based on my faith as well. And so with Old Soul Young Woman, right before then, a lot of my poems, there was a lot of pain. Old Soul Young Woman, this was the first poem that I wrote that had a happy context. Does that make sense? But poems before then, were just with pain and anger and trauma. With this poem, with Old Soul Young Woman, it was me embracing my personality. And I remember specifically one time in 8th grade, my teacher, she was talking about this TV show, Good Times. And a few of my classmates that were sitting next to me, they're like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's a TV show from the 1970s. I watch it a lot. And I remember this girl, I will not say her name, obviously, but she looked at me with disgust and she was like, my mom wasn't even born then. And I'm like, okay. Oh well. But I remember feeling embarrassed. I guess I would call it a self-love poem. I've started to love myself for who I am and my personality for who I am, and not for what the world wants me to be. I was born here in the US, but my family is from Ethiopia. My mother was born in Addis Ababa, which is the capital of Ethiopia, and my dad was born in this city called Dawa. One of his little brothers passed away, and my dad was 7 or 8 at the time. He couldn't cry about it, and that broke my heart, because I'm like, dang, oh, you have to be strong for the women or whatever. You can't cry, you can't show emotion. I hate that so much. And it breaks my heart because, that's the norm. So that's, how my dad grew up. The very first poem I wrote was titled Why, and I wrote it way back in early February of 2018, and it was a letter to all the people that bullied me. So I I am ugly. I am lame. I am a disgrace to God's creation. I am different. But why am I saying all these things? Well, I guess it's because you said them. In why, I was addressing that, like, I no longer believe that I am ugly. I no longer believe that I am a failure, that I'm a disappointment, etc., etc. And then towards the end of the poem, why did you do that to me? You know, like, why did you say that to me? So that was the very first spoken word poem I had ever written. And it was the very first poem I've also performed, of course, obviously, because my first poem. I was performing it, but I wasn't nervous. I still remember, like, people are cheering, and I ended up getting a standing ovation. I used poetry as a way to, I used it as a way to let myself, I don't know if this makes sense, but like, I used it as a way to let go of all the bad blood that was in me. Like, I used poetry as a way, because I was bleeding. I was bleeding because I was just stabbed by so many people that I even trusted, like, hurt me. It helped me to realize that there's someone out there listening to me, you know? It helped me realize that I should not be ashamed for speaking up and opening up about what I'm suffering from or what I'm going through. But I'm not the only person that goes through this, and that I should not be ashamed for opening up about it.